Hello, dear student. Welcome to today's lesson, which is going to be about contrastive analysis. Well, contrastive analysis is the study of two or more languages with the aim of pointing out their structural differences and similarities for academic reasons or societal benefits. So, this definition basically stresses the idea that uh, the study of that contrastive analysis is about the study of two languages. So it studies two languages or more for with the aim, that is the objective of this is to find the structures that are different or structures that are similar, okay, in both languages. Lado 1957 noted that structures that are similar to the learner's first language first language structure will be easy to learn, while those that are different will be difficult to learn. Okay, so if you're learning another language and you come to find that this language that you are learning, this your second language, contains some structure that are similar to your mother tongue. So this way, in this case, you will easily learn the language. That is, you will easily learn your second language. But if you are learning another language and you find that this language you are learning contains some structures that are completely different from your mother tongue, this will make it difficult for you to learn the another language. So the objective of comparing languages. So why contrastive analysis compare languages? To find out the structures, okay, to find out what is general, that is the structure that is uh, common in both languages, something that the two languages uh, uh, have in common structures, and what is language specific, something also that is language specific. So you might find structures that are the same in both languages, and you will also find structures that are different. Okay, therefore, this is very important for the understanding of languages in general and for the understanding of languages of the two languages compared. So this will help you as a contrastive analysis to find that okay, these two languages, for example, that you are studying have something in common, and there is also something that they don't have in common, which is language specific, and you will have a better understanding of both languages. So contrastive analysis states that where structures in the L1 differed from those in L2, errors that are reflected the structure of L1 would be appreciated. So this basically means that when you learn another language and you come across structure that are different from your mother tongue. So you have structures of another language of L2 which are different from your mother tongue. The errors that you will make will be the errors that you will produce will reflect the structure of your mother tongue. Okay, Dolay 1982 noted that such errors were said to be due to the influence of the learners of L1 linguistic habits on L2 production. So the errors that you make when you are learning another language are due to the influence of learners L1 linguistic habits. So the habits that you have in L1 cause or influence the learning of L2, okay, and you produce errors. Contrastive analysis hypothesis, CAH, it predicts areas of difficulties in learning a language. Whenever there are similarities between two languages, learning will be much easier. And whenever there are differences, more difficulties will emerge. Okay, so this hypothesis uh, basically explains that when you're learning another language or languages, then you find that some structures, for example, or structures of the languages are the same, you will easily learn language, no problem. Okay, and when you find that these two languages have differences. Their structure is different from each other, which will be difficult for you to learn. Lado, again, 1955, suggested a systematic set of procedures for the contrastive analysis, contrastive study of languages, which describes, okay, this set of procedures that Lado suggested for the study of contrastive analysis is describe the language. So, okay, this is how we are going to compare the two languages. This is the method that Lado provides for the studying of languages. First, you describe the languages. Describe, for example, two languages. Say you are comparing two languages, for example, English and Arabic, or English and French, etc. So first you describe the two languages, then you compare them, what is different, what is similar, you compare their structure, etc. And then you predict learning difficulties. Okay, so if these structures are similar to each other, learning would be much easier. And if the structure is different, learning would be difficult. Lado 1957 sums up: we can predict and describe the patterns that will cause difficulty in learning and those that will not cause difficulty by comparing systematically the language and culture to be learned with native language and culture of the student. Okay, so to predict and describe the patterns, so how to predict difficulty in learning, so you describe the pattern of the two languages. Okay, those that will not cause and those that will not cause difficulty. Okay, this is how we are going to know whether the patterns of the two languages will cause difficulty in learning or not. So what do? You compare the two languages and their culture. So you compare the culture and the language of L1 with the culture and the language of L2. So this way you can predict what would be difficult in learning and what will not be difficult in learning of the two languages. So limitations of the contrastive analysis. Contrastive analysis predicts some errors but does not anticipate all errors. So contrastive analysis, it predicts some errors that are caused that are produced in L2, but it doesn't anticipate all problems. Okay, L2 data exhibit rare errors beyond those in L1, which would not be predicted by contrastive analysis. Basically, there are some errors that L2 learners produce. Okay, these errors have nothing to do with L1. So sometimes when you're learning another language, you make errors, and these errors they are not reflected by the system of your mother tongue. So there are just errors that are made uh, by your L2. Okay, they have nothing to do with your mother tongue, your first language. Another limitation is that some of the errors contrastive analysis predicts do not occur. Okay, so this CA contrastive analysis predicts some errors. Okay, that are produced by L2 learners. However, they come to find that these errors do not really occur. So the learners do not really make errors in L2 that are reflected by the system of their L1. So not all the time, this is not the case all the time. There are some errors that are produced in L2 and have nothing to do with the system of their mother tongue. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. Thank you very much. See you next time.